Hey guys, Asher coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Welcome to the video. It's going to be a good one. We have none other than the dwarf MORAG BRONZELOCK, a very popular request here. Let me go ahead and give some of you guys a shout out. We have Josh says, so much money with no real payoff. Better luck next time, Ash. Must have been on a shard opening video. Side note, can you do a video on MORAG? Would appreciate it, bro. Of course. Nick Page says, can you do a video on MORAG for Fire Knight? I'm using a 5-star Ascended and clearing stage 20 in about 14:30, but I know it could be faster. Yeah, Nick, we'll definitely do Fire Knight today on NORAG. MM says, also, a video for NORAG would be amazing. She is amazing. Thank you, MM. Can we get a MORAG build, says Phil Hernandez. And Iceman935 says, a champ, I'd really like to see a guide on his MORAG BRONZELOCK. I think she got a lot of potential in Clan Boss. Christopher says, congrats on giving Hell Hades the inspiration to win Clover Clan Boss tournament. You need to make a MORAG guide now. And Reed says, after seeing Hell Hades use MORAG BRONZELOCK in the DWJ Clover Clan Boss draft, you should definitely do a guide on her, especially because he used her because of you. So, wow, there's a lot of requests here. You guys can see I went on Hades' channel here talking about my favorite epic champions, most underrated epic champions in the game. And, of course, I told him about my girl, MORAG.
I'm interested to see what you got to say.
She's got a 3.9 multiplier on this 8. So, he cut out the part where he was disgruntled. He was like, I'm not, actually, maybe he didn't cut it out. Let's see.
Give praise to Ash on this one.
I'm going to go with a brand newbie too. And again, similar to you and Akentem, I'm not sure if she's underrated or overrated or properly rated, but MORAG BRONZELOCK.
MORAG. Okay.
Do you know MORAG?
I do. I wouldn't have put her in this group, so I'm interested to see what you got.
See, he was not a believer. He was not a believer, but then he used her to complete or to win the Clan Boss Challenge using only epic champions. He got 89 million damage, and MORAG put out 26 mil in damage. That's pretty incredible considering she brings a lot more to the table than just that damage. So why is this champion so cool, guys? I'm going to link that video on Hades, by the way, if you want to see his Clan Boss team and strategy. Today we're going to be focused on secret rooms, kind of end game content, and we're going to focus on Fire Knight build for MORAG BRONZELOCK. But first, let's look at her. Why do we love this champion so much? Spirit Affinity, Dwarf, Epic Champion. She looks really cool. I just love the aesthetic on her. I mean, she's got the long ponytail thing going on here. I don't know. She's cool. She's a cool looking champion. Her sword kind of reminds me a little bit of Acrizia. I don't know about you guys. Like a little mini Acrizia. Where are you, Acrizia? See? She got the same sword, maybe a little bit less BA with the flames coming out of it, but I like the aesthetic on this champion. She's a really cool looking one. So she is a defense-based champion, 1288 base defense, 18k on the HP, a 2-time hitter with ignoring shield on each hit on the A1. On the A2, Outrage. 3-turn cooldown, really solid multipliers, an AoE attack with the big version of Strengthen on all allies for 2 turns, on a 3-turn cooldown. Quick little Jeopardy quiz for you guys. How many epic champions in the game have a Strengthen on a 3-turn cooldown that lasts for 2 turns? 1. You're looking at her. MORAG BRONZELOCK. She is the most dependable strength and big version that you can find on an epic champion at the time of this recording in the game. So she's already bringing that, which is incredible. On the A3, she's got the Raider Captain. Teams up with 2 random allies to attack a single enemy. The allies joining an attack will use their default skill. It grants an extra turn if the enemy is killed. So this is actually a pretty cool ability in the arena. You get that extra turn if you with 3 total champions, her and 2 allies attacking. Oftentimes you can kill, and then you get that extra turn. It's actually really solid there. It doesn't sound like much. Teams up with 2 random allies, but on top of an already pretty powerful kit, there's so much utility you can get out of this. A lot more damage in Clan Boss, a lot more hits on the shield for Fire Knight, and just a lot more damage and utility in the arena as well. On her passive, Test This Might. Counterattacks when hit while under a strengthen buff placed by this champion. So that's going to lead to a bunch more A1s, which again hit pretty hard. Let's take a look at our multipliers here. We have a 1.85 strong damage rating on our A1 and a 3.9 defensive damage rating on our AoE on the A2. Again, a pretty strong ability. She's going back into the A1, obviously, on the A3 ability, the ally attack. And she's counterattacking all the time with that A1. It's a 1.85. Doesn't sound like much, but it's a 2-time hitter. So that's actually really solid damage she'll be getting there, especially if you pick up War Master on top of that. So that's why we love this champion, man. It's not a super complicated kit, but it deals a lot of damage and a lot of support, right? Especially over the course of longer battles. So let's go ahead and see how we have her built in today's video. I actually kept her on the same build that I did when I did a YouTube channel on her somewhat recently, or YouTube video, excuse me, on my my main channel. So we built her out to be kind of a nuker here, right? Because again, she can deal some serious damage. So we put her in lethal in crit damage. Shame on me, we have her at 99% crit rate, 450 almost on crit damage. We're one shy in both categories from being a nice clean 100 and 250. So why did we build her out to be a hardcore nuker, right? Like, why not just build her to be absolutely tanky? Well, frankly, it's because she's a defense-based champion whose defense scales pretty well anyway. So we have the luxury, and this goes for, you know, all defense-based nukers for the most part in the game. We have the luxury of building her like for all-out damage, nukage, right? And still be super tanky because it's based on defense anyway. Now, as with any defense-based nuker that you guys are going to use, it's really imperative that we set her up if we want to get maximum damage with an increased defense champion on the same team. Obviously, that's going to give us a big boost to this defense, ergo more damage from this champion as well. So we have, let's go ahead, before we review her masteries, we have defense on the banner. We have crit damage on the amulet. We have a defense with some HP on the ring. We have speed on the boots. We have defense percentage on the chest. We have crit damage on the gauntlets. Again, looking for crit rate where we can get it in crit damage, really. So the cool thing about this champion, guys, is there's no need for accuracy in this kit at all. Obviously, she's not placing any debuff. She's not doing anything that would require accuracy to enemies other than doing a lot of damage. But again, that doesn't require accuracy. So she's definitely worth booking because getting this strengthened on a 3-turn cooldown is really valuable. Not to mention there's only 2 levels on the A3 and it goes right to the cooldown. So I would say this is definitely a champion that you're going to want to go ahead and use your epic skill tomes on. We've shared a few recently that you really don't have to, or that, you know, like Khazar, for example. Obviously, he's a rare, but still, Morag would be the opposite. I would definitely invest my books in this champion. We have Crushing Rend as a blessing on this champion. Each round, a number of the champions hit will ignore a percentage of the target's defense. The percentage of ignored, is dependent on the level of the target, okay? So we only have her 1 star for now. The first hit each round will ignore a percentage of the target's defense, will ignore 1% defense for every 50 levels, but of course that can scale up, getting us extra HP, extra crit damage along the way, and eventually extra speed. So that's a blessing that I prefer on this champion. Let's go ahead and see what Hades says. He says Crushing Rend or Cruelty. So again, we have Crushing Rend. Cruelty, I think, is a fine option as well. It's over here. Whenever this champion hits an enemy, decreases their defense until the end of the round, occurs once per hit. You know what? I think at a level 1, since we're not going to be using her a ton in the arena, and it's only a 1-star blessing, I think I am going to go ahead and make that swap. So Crushing Rend or Cruelty, again, I agree with those choices. All right, masteries on this champion, guys. As I mentioned, we really want to get War Master, man. We want to go offensive tree on this champion for all the damage, but all those counterattacks, right? All those counterattacks when she's under strengthened vis-a-vis that passive. We want to get that extra damage from the War Master. So War Master and the ally attack, I mean, there's just so many reasons she's going to be attacking quite a lot over the duration, again, especially of longer battles. So we have offense. There's really no big reason to go down the support tree on this champion. Again, we don't need accuracy. We could use, I guess, a little bit of extra HP, but then as we go down, we'd only really want to pick up lasting gifts, maybe Lore of Steel, depending on what you have on this champion. But it's not worth it, in my opinion. I'd much rather go defense tree as well. We went with Tough Skin, extra defense. We went blast proof, mitigating AoE attacks damage. We went with Resurgent, and then we came down, of course, with Retribution and Deterrence, more counterattacks. Sign me up, man. Sign me up. So there you have it, guys. That is the build. Now, if we wanted to do a much tankier build on this champion, we could do, or if we just wanted to really, really maximize the buffs, right? We really wanted to get strengthened on our team the entire battle, and we want as many ally attacks as possible. For example, if you're only using her, like that commenter in Fire Knight, right? Like that's where you're going to be using her, or maybe a secret room in Doom Tower, like we're going to show you guys. In that case, I would say maybe consider going with Relentless on this champion instead, right? Because Relentless, you get those extra turns, ergo, again, more ally attacks, get those shields down from the Fire Knight, and more strengthen up on all your allies, and still a heck of a lot of damage. So I would go personally Relentless, or go with Lethal / Savage on this champion. Those are my choices. How would you build this champion, guys? Again, fairly easy to build because we don't need accuracy. Speed is fine, but, you know, I'd rather a little bit of extra damage on this champion. That's why I went the route that I did. All right, let's go ahead and go. Let's start with Fire Knight, guys. We've mentioned it a few times now. Let's go ahead and go into battle here. So as I show you the waves, listen, man, we're on this massive streak here on the channel if you guys are watching in real time. By the way, this is the Fire Knight team I have. Think about how amazing that ally attack is yet again, right? Once we get to the Fire Knight, all those ally attacks are going to be triggering Allure's A1 ability. So I think that her and Allure, just like Allure and any ally attack champion, but especially Morag in this use case, is a dynamic duo to say the least, right? We're going to keep that shield down, and then once it's down, we're going to keep that turn meter just basically locked down. It's really, really powerful tandem. And then we have Seer to get us through the waves, and we have Duchess mainly just to power up Seer with all the buffs. So let's go ahead and run this battle. So, as I was saying, if you're watching this channel in real time with me, thank you, first of all. I appreciate the support. I told you yesterday in the Kurzad, there we go. I told you in the Kurzad video, man, I'll never get, once you mispronounce a name for a certain amount of time, it's tough to undo that learning. At least that's the case for me, clearly. Anyway, guys, as I told you in that video, I really appreciate the support here on the channel. And, you know, the guides are going to keep coming. I'm really just enjoying going through every champion in the game. So please keep the requests coming as well. But lore has been pretty stale, man. And I kind of enjoyed it. So as we bleed through this next wave here, I can't give you the lore for Morag because there is none, but I can give you the faction lore for the Dwarves faction, which is something that we never really talked about here. So let's go ahead and go deep beneath the unforgiving mountains of Teleria. The war has raged, hidden from the eyes of the surface races. Driven by their greed for wealth and ancient secrets, the minions of Siroth surge through mountain passes and into near-forgotten tunnels to reach the dwarven kingdom that lay hidden within. The surprise and brutality of the attack saw the outer holdings quickly overrun, but the Children of the Stone answered swiftly. The next wave of invaders and every one that followed after crashed against stalwart dwarven battalions. Demons, undead, and dark-hearted mortals all fell before the hammer and axe. After months of war and the loss of too many dwarven lives, the forces of darkness were driven from the mountains. But dwarves do not suffer tragedy lightly. Now they prepare to march on the surface to take back in blood and gold what is rightfully theirs. There we go. Not a bad little story of the dwarves. And hey, we're still on the second wave. Seer was able to go through the first wave pretty quickly. Wasn't the case here on the second one. Here we go finally to the Fire Knight. So you guys are going to see, again, triple hitter from Allure. We get a double hitter from Duchess. We have a double hitter from, or single hitter, excuse me, from Seer. And then we go in with the A1 of Coldheart. And that's going to be it, man. That shield is never going to go back up because of Allure's A1 and the ally attack. Here it is right here. She didn't join in. Bad RNG. Bad luck there. Well, luckily, I think she's still going to get a turn right now, and then we'll get that back up. But as you guys can see, you know, provided that you get the right ally to attack, it should have went a little bit better. It's a really, really formidable combo. I will say though, look at her A1, man. She kind of like jumps up there like a little bunny hopping, man. Look at her attack. Well, this is her A2 ability, right? Get that War Master proc, get that strengthen on all my allies. Not that we need it at this point in the battle, but of course that strengthen's going to help us out pretty much everywhere else in the game. Now she has, I think, one turn away. She's going to do her bunny hop. There it is. She did the bunny hop move, and now she's going to have that ally attack back up. Man, the cool thing is, though, if I didn't have like a Coldheart on this team, it might be an issue to keep that turn meter down. This is level 25 Fire Knight, so it's not like it's super easy. We're not at, you know, stage 17 or something like that, or stage 20, but you can see this team's able to just get the job done really, really nicely here. I think you guys get the point at this point, right? I mean, just dealing some nice damage. Nice little tandem there with Allure and the ally attack. Let's see one more bunny hop. Come on. Come on, Morag. Give us what the viewers came for. Come on now. There it is. There's the bunny hop. She's not doing absurd damage or anything like that, but keep in mind, there is no debuffer on this team, right? There's just, I mean, I guess technically Allure does have it in her kit, but she's only using the A1 here against the Fire Knight anyway, so she will not be applying it. But overall, I'm not sure if you saw it in the waves. I'm not sure if I was too busy doing some Dwarven lore for you guys, but the damage wasn't that bad, you know? And you really notice the damage in longer battles, like that screenshot or that freeze frame that we showed you from Hell Hades video and Clan Boss. I mean, she put out some serious damage for a defensive-based nuker. Very impressive there. So there's another ally attack. Again, we didn't get Allure going, but think about it this way. I know some players that run 2 Allures, right? Or maybe you don't have any Allure. Maybe you just want to get that shield down faster. Maybe you have a Cold Heart. That will be, again, another A1, ergo 4 hits from Cold Heart. So really, really strong there. We have a, yeah, I'm not going to use the Fury set. Let me go ahead and show you one Doom Tower battle, guys, just because I'm having fun today. I'm enjoying taking a look at these champions here. All right, Doom Tower. I think it was Doom Tower Hard, Secret Room 8. There she is. So this is an Epic Spirit Champions only secret room. I have her with some of my favorite Epic Champions, or Spirit Affinity Epic Champions in the game. That's a mouthful. I have Fokker in the Fat. I have Mr. Deacon Armstrong, Mr. Magnar, and then I have the double debuffer, Stag Knight, because I can't choose favorites between Stag Knight and my man. Look at that damage there on that A2 ability. I guess Magnar was coming through trying to show her up a little bit, but you're going to see here, I mean, I don't know for certain, but you're going to see some pretty significant damage out of Morag compared to the other champions on this squad. Let's go ahead and see, except for Magnar, of course, right? He is one of the quintessential nukers in the game. Not to mention, if she can get that A2 going, I think it's up right now, she'll be counterattacking when she's hit. Here she goes. Oh, that was a counterattack from them, my bad. But if someone's dumb enough to attack her, gonna see she's gonna keep going in, hammering away with that A1. It's cool to have 2 ally attackers on the team as well, right? You can see that Cruelty putting in some work as well. There goes Magnar finishing off that second wave. And really, this team making it look super easy. These mobs are level 225, but again, just doing a good job bunny hopping there. Almost taking out Jingle Hunter. Fokker in the Fat says, I got this. Jingle Hunter down. And here we go. Getting pretty nice resist, too. Usually dwarves have a higher base resist than other factions. Speaking of the dwarf faction, it's not a general rule. I didn't notice what her base was. It probably wasn't that crazy, but some of those dwarves' base resistance are like out of this world. They're like 80 or higher, I think. Anyway, let's go ahead and see what we can do here. One more shot. Deacon ends things. And let's see what she was able to do here. So, she outdamaged Magnar! I mean, come on, man. She's bringing the strength in, and she outdamaged Magnar, not to mention all the extra damage that she was able to manufacture with all the ally attacks. So I am a big, big fan of this champion, guys. Hopefully you are as well. Again, we talked about using Relentless set if you guys don't have Lethal/Savage, or if you don't want to build her so nuky, but why wouldn't you want to? Because, again, she's pretty easy to keep alive. Just prioritize defense percentage and go for some crit rate and some crit damage, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, take care, guys.